Hey, my friends, we will be right back to the show. But I have a question for you. Are you struggling with the impact of childhood trauma? Well, know that you're not alone. I'm here to let you know that I'm starting a brand new weekly coaching group that includes a year of life coaching, accountability, support, habit and goal setting, and more. I'm starting a waitlist for the group right now, and I'm only taking a handful of people. And I'll let you know that through this personalized coaching, we'll work together to help you understand how your childhood trauma has shaped your beliefs, behaviors, emotions, and will help you create a roadmap for healing and growth. Right now, you can schedule an absolutely free coaching session with me and get put on the wait list if you go to thinkunbroken.com. My friends, it's your time to turn your trauma into triumph, breakdowns into breakthroughs, and become the hero of your own story. And I'm here to support you in doing that. Just go to thinkunbroken.com to register for a free coaching call with me and to get put on the wait list for the brand new weekly coaching program. We'll be right back to the show. But before we do, I want to tell you about today's sponsor, factormeals.com, where if you go to factormeals.com/unbroken50 and use the code unbroken50, you can get 50% off your first order. That's factormeals.com/unbroken50. If you're like me and you are a person who is busy trying to create a life, heal, work on their health, wealth, and relationships, and not to mention deal with the day-to-days of normal life, you do not have time to be going to the grocery store and trying to figure out what you're going to cook every single day of the week. In fact, one time I did the math and I realized I was spending over 15 hours a week at the grocery store and cooking. When I added Factor, I got to use that time for myself, for my family, for my friends, for my community, and for my business. And so if you're in the place where you need some more support in the kitchen, head to factormeals.com/unbroken50 and use the code unbroken50 to get 50% off. Hey, my friends, we will be right back to the show. But I have a question for you. Are you struggling with the impact of childhood trauma? Well, know that you're not alone. I'm here to let you know that I'm starting a brand new weekly coaching group that includes a year of life coaching, accountability, support, habit and goal setting, and more. I'm starting a waitlist for the group right now, and I'm only taking a handful of people. And I'll let you know that through this personalized coaching, we'll work together to help you understand how your childhood trauma has shaped your beliefs, behaviors, emotions, and will help you create a roadmap for healing and growth. Right now, you can schedule an absolutely free coaching session with me and get put on the wait list if you go to thinkunbroken.com. My friends, it's your time to turn your trauma into triumph, breakdowns into breakthroughs, and become the hero of your own story. And I'm here to support you in doing that. Just go to thinkunbroken.com to register for a free coaching call with me and to get put on the wait list for the brand new weekly coaching program. Hey, what's up, Unbroken Nation? Welcome to the Think Unbroken podcast. I'm your host, Michael Unbroken, and this podcast is about helping trauma survivors let go of the past, overcome their fear, discover their identity, become the hero of their own story, and ultimately to be unbroken. Our goal in company is to bring on guests and experts in the fields of mental, physical, and psychological health to help you overcome the past, to take back your power. And in this podcast, we are unedited and unfiltered, and we're going to give it to you real so that you can start to create massive change in your life. If you're curious about learning more outside the podcast, you can get a free copy of my book, Think Unbroken, at book.thinkunbroken.com. That's book.thinkunbroken.com, where you can get a copy of my #1 best-selling book, Think Unbroken: Understanding and Overcoming Childhood Trauma. The most important thing that you can ever do, my friends, is show up for yourself, and that's where you are today. And I appreciate you. I have massive gratitude for you. And without further ado, let's get into the show. If you don't stand for anything, you will fall for everything. I don't know who said that quote. I tried to Google it. I couldn't find it. What's up, Unbroken Nation? Hope that you're doing well, my friends. Today, I want to talk to you about my 10 unbroken rules for life. I think very frequently, that's how we're going to start this episode. Sorry. kind of brain dead today, to be honest with you, because it's been a very intense day with a lot of different things happening in my life. And I have to keep my commitments, as I always say. And we said we're going to do 365 episodes this year. So we are doing 365 episodes. And even if that means that I'm a little bit tired today, we're going to get it in. And so bear with me, please. I appreciate it. I wrote 10 rules for my life. And these rules are rules that I decided to implement into my life that I read every single day. They're on this piece of paper. If you're watching online, you can see it, but if you're not, they're on a piece of paper. And I wrote them down because I believe very much so and vehemently in that the things that you write come to fruition. I also believe that when you write things down, in the same way that I talk about writing down your goals multiple times a day, that you have to bring it back to your attention. You have to look at and read these things. And one of the things I teach clients when they come through Think Unbroken coaching, whether it's the one-on-one coaching or group coaching or whatever it may be, or even the app, which you can download if you go to the App Store, it's the Think Unbroken app. You can learn about why I teach people this. And the reason is because I think it's, without question, kind of the cornerstone to kind of building these pillars and the foundations of Think Unbroken. Because if we are in this position in which we understand and we can look at what we create every single day as our life, then that puts us in this beautiful ability to create massive momentum going forward. And I've talked about momentum before on the show. I think it's everything, right? Momentum is going to get you to where you want to go, and you're going to have hard days, you're going to have in-between days. But I remember, so I guess I wrote my first set of rules probably in 2019, and they were pretty loose. They so if you've ever done the Think Unbroken coaching, then you know that they kind of fall into the 6 principles of healing trauma. And a couple of years ago, I think it was late 2019 or maybe even early 2020, when I was getting coached by Tom Bilyeu, he was telling me about his rules for life. And I was like, well, I kind of have some. And he said, well, you can't really kind of have these things. You either have them or you don't. And I was like, okay, cool. So I need to actually think about whether or not I actually have rules. And I realized actually, like, by looking at them, they weren't really rules as much as they were kind of general statements. And in that, and recognizing that, I made a decision to sit down to write out my rules and to get very clear on exactly what it is that are the agreements that I have with myself. And I think that in order for you to find success in your life, you're going to have to build out agreements with yourself. And you can read all the books on trauma, you can listen to all these podcasts, you can go to all the courses, but I still believe that you need these rules for your life because they're going to govern the change that happens. Now, I think ultimately rules are going to change. They are meant to be changed. This is a living, breathing document to me. And I went through these a few years ago on the show, might have been a couple years ago on the show, and some have changed, some have stayed the same. And what I want you to think about in your life is, what kind of rules do you need to be able to prosper, to be able to continue to move forward, and to continue to grow and heal? And so when I think about rules for my life, I think about them as positives. I don't think about them necessarily as I'm taking away, but instead I'm giving to, because I think we spend so much time having things taken away from us that it only makes sense that we give things to ourselves. And so I'm going to go through my rules with you, and we'll dive in. So rule number 1 is that I do not get overwhelmed. Like, I don't allow myself to get overwhelmed. That doesn't mean there's not a lot on my plate. That doesn't mean I can't be tired like I am today. That doesn't mean that I can't have a million things that are vying for my attention. But I don't allow myself any capacity of feeling overwhelmed. People ask me, they're like, man, you run 3 businesses, you're coaching all the time, you have a podcast, you're always traveling, you're writing books. How do you not get overwhelmed? Twofold. 1, I don't waste time doing stupid shit. Now, stupid shit is defined by me as stupid shit, so that's wasting time on things that don't bring value to my life. Now, that's not to say, and of course you guys know this, on the occasion I'll hang out, I'll play video games, but that's once every 6 weeks to 2 months. Generally speaking, I'm pretty forward momentum moving. So when I think about getting overwhelmed, I think that it's an emotional reaction to stimulus. And so I really just try to break down things into what needs to be done today. The next one is I will do anything within my value system and the law to obtain my goals. This is so important to me because as someone who's probably, I'm sure I'm past any statute of limitations. I probably have at least 30 felonies. I'm not joking. I know people are probably like, what the fuck? Yes, I do. Because when I was a teenager, I was a psycho because I didn't know any better. And I was running with the wrong kids. We were involved in a lot of illegal activities. We hurt a lot of people. We sold a lot of drugs, broke into a lot of houses, stole a lot of cars. Look, is what it is. I'm not going to lie. And so for me, operating in my value system, but also the law is incredibly important. And I want to reach my goals. And so, my values: honesty, kindness, leadership, self-actualization, and no excuses. So if I can leverage those two things, then I honestly feel like I can reach any goal, but they're foundational. And then I don't allow trauma to determine my self-worth, value, or my beliefs. And what that means is recognizing that, yes, I am the sum total of all of my experiences leading up to this moment, but I do not have to be defined by those experiences. Instead, they can inform me, I can learn from them, I can grow from them, I can use them to better my life, the world, my relationships, my community, but I will not allow them to determine my self-worth. Now, that doesn't mean I don't struggle at times in intimate relationships, in friendships, in business, in career, in this, because I do. But that means that there's an opportunity to learn and grow through that. I put honesty, number 4, I put honesty above everything. We'll be right back, but I wanted to take a quick moment to tell you about the Think Unbroken 6-week trauma healing coaching program. If you go to coaching.thinkunbroken.com, that's coaching.thinkunbroken.com, you can sign up for the 6-week daily Think Unbroken Trauma Healing Coaching Program. In this program, we're going to go over the 6 principles of healing trauma, adaptation, understanding the impacts of trauma, how to become the hero of your own story, what to do next, and ultimately what it means to be unbroken. For more information about this 6-week coaching program, which you can download as an app on your phone and take with you everywhere, no matter where you are in the world, it's interactive. It's built about giving you practical tools that you can use in real time. And if you're ready for what's next in your life, go to coaching.thinkunbroken.com. Again, that's coaching.thinkunbroken.com. Now let's get back to the show. And, honesty is my number 1 value. And it's hard as fuck to be honest all the time. It's hard to tell people, I don't know why I said that. I just lied. It's hard to tell people I let you down. I didn't do the thing I said I was going to do. It's hard to tell people I lied, cheat, stole, blah, 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 whatever it is. Right. And so with that, one of the things that I've come to know about honesty is there are delicate ways to deliver it. And I have not always been the most delicate. And so a caveat that I'm adding to this is that I'm going to put honesty above everything except for kindness. Because I think that one of the things I've done poorly in my life is to be able to leverage honesty while also being kind and empathetic. So I'm constantly trying to grow into that a little bit deeper. Number 5, I will learn whatever I must to understand what I don't know. You've heard me say this before. You've heard other people say this before. The quality of your questions determines the quality of your life. The quality of your questions determine the quality of your life. And so I'm willing to be victim to public ridicule, shame, judgment, guilt, humiliation. I don't care. Because as long as I'm learning, I do not care about the byproduct of asking the question and raising the hand. And in that, I'm fearless. So for me, learning and being willing to understand is worth raising the hand. And I will say this, I don't want to embed rules on people, but I will say you may want to consider making a rule your willingness to learn no matter what. Because if you're willing to learn no matter what, you will learn. I promise you. Because sometimes I'm with people, I'm being coached, I'm with, amazing human beings on this planet, and they will say things and I'll be like, what? Can you break that down for me? And they will, and it's really incredible. I put healthy food into my body. So number 6, the consummate battle. This is probably the biggest one in my life. I've gotten better with it over the years. So I read David Sinclair's book Lifespan, and holy shit, did that change the way I think about the food I eat. And I've watched the documentaries, I've seen them all the food documentaries, all the diet documentaries. But it was reading that book that really became profound for me. And also doing a lot of health work recently through a company, and I'm not associated with any of this, through 10X Health Systems and through Viome. I did a sequencing through Viome, and I was like, oh shit, the thing I'm eating every day is actually making me sick, according to my gut microbiome. You talk about a mind-blowing moment. I was like, wow, holy crap, I cannot believe that. So now I think about healthy food. I have a list on my phone of all the food I can eat, that I cannot eat, and then the I can eat sometimes. So on the list of my can't eat foods are some of my favorite foods. And there's something to be said about the willingness to not sacrifice your physical well-being for a few moments of mouth pleasure and that sensation that you get from whatever it might be. Number 7, I think, is where we're at. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, number 7. I'll ask for help when I need it. This comes back to that raising the hand idea, except a little bit more in depth. I'm willing to ask for help. I'm willing to reach out to people and say, hey, I don't get this. I'm willing to say, hey, I need somebody else on the team. I'm willing to say, I can't carry this on my own. I'm willing to ask for help. I spent a long time not asking for help. And so when I think about the way that role plays a role in my life, it's about understanding that it's okay to have vulnerability. Number 8 is I do not judge myself. That, again, we talk about this all the time, mindset. What you think becomes what you speak become your actions become your reality. I could make the most massive fuck up on planet Earth, and I'm going to not judge myself. I'm going to instead look at it and say, okay, what do I need to do here? What did I learn here? How do I need to show up? What do I need to take away from this? Because when you're judging yourself, right, and it gets deep, right, because you get into shame and you get guilt and you get all the things that are the byproduct of that, and you don't learn anything. So my thought was like, okay, cool, can I fuck up and learn? And so ask yourself that, like, as a rule of your life, can you fuck up and learn? Like that might be what I change the rule to. Like, the rule is I'm allowed to fuck up and learn. Because I refuse to judge myself. I refuse to have guilt or shame for anything I do. And maybe that's a weird way of looking at it. And I know people are like, maybe you should have guilt and shame for some things. And I go, maybe, but also I'm learning. And I normally, if I fuck something up, it's because I've never been in that situation before. So, I think, the old adage is the first time, it's a mistake. The second time you're learning, the third time you're making a decision. And I think that for a lot of what's been happening in my life, it's just been a lot of learning. It's been a lot of figuring it out. Number 8. I will always risk making a mistake over questioning what if. So this comes down to that idea of the deathbed, being willing to find myself on my deathbed as a successful person. And that to me means putting myself in situations of risk, of jumping off the diving board, of heading out of the plane with the parachute, or maybe without. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But also being willing to put myself in a situation to be successful. And that comes to that team mentality, right? Time, effort, energy, money, TEEM. Time, effort, energy, money. What am I willing to risk to get what I want out of it? And that's what I often think about, because that what if scenario, that regret scenario is fucking terrifying to me. And then finally, I am patient and willing to sacrifice to make my dreams a reality. Patience is not a virtue. I hate that people say that. Like, it drives me crazy. Like, sure, 2,000 years ago, it made sense, right? In 400 AD, 500 BC, whatever, it made sense. Fine. Patience is a fucking skill. You have got to learn patience. You have to develop patience. You have to ingrain patience in yourself. Like, patience is not as simple as it being a virtue. There are so many virtuous people who are not patient, right? And I've had to learn patience over the course of my life, and it's played huge dividends. This is why, so you guys always hear me say my goals are 37 years away, and even in 5 years, my goals will still be 37 years away. That's because of this idea of patience. And so what I want you to think about is, can patience be a rule that plays a role in your life? Now, these are just my rules. These are the way that I show up. I write these, I look at them. They're on my desk. I read them every single day when I start my day, just as a reminder of who I'm going to be today, a reminder of how I want to show up and how I want to live in the world. And so if you're not in this place in your life where you've created rules, I challenge you to just sit down for a little bit and write out even 3. Just say, I'm the kind of person that does this, and see how that intertwines into your life. And if you intertwine, into your life, and if you can get up to 10, like, I really think that's where you start to solidify a further and deeper understanding of yourself, because we have arbitrary rules growing up. Like, one of the things that pissed me off more than anything is, being a little kid and being like, I have to raise my hand to go to the bathroom. That's the dumbest shit on planet Earth. I get it, because it's like you don't want the kids leaving the classroom, but at the same time, I'm like, let me be a human being and figure it out. Or, when you have to call into the office because you're 4 minutes late, like, that's so dumb to me. It's so arbitrary. And so I thought to myself, instead of living life in rules that I think are dumb and arbitrary, and people may think that they're brilliant and necessary, so everybody thinks differently. But ultimately, what I want you to think about is, what are the rules that you need in your life that are going to help you prosper, that are help you go to what is next in your life. And just grab a pen and a piece of paper and write them down, because I promise you it's going to be incredibly beneficial. So, Unbroken Nation, thank you so much for listening. I appreciate you. Please like, subscribe, comment, share, tell a friend. And until next time, my friends, be unbroken. I'll see ya. Unbroken Nation, hope that you just got a tremendous amount of value from today's episode. I want to know what you think. Please do me a favor and review, rate, and share the episode with 3 friends on social media today. It would mean the world if you did, because ultimately, at the end of the day, creating community and connection is how we heal generational trauma in the world. And I need your help to do that, Unbroken Nation. So if you're on iTunes or Spotify or wherever you are, please like, comment, share, review. I want to know not only what you like about the show, but how I can make the show better, how I can make this further about helping you on your healing journey. So do me a favor, and when you do, shoot me a screenshot of you making the review to my DM at Michael Unbroken on Instagram, so that I can have a conversation with you, say hi, and more importantly, so I can share it with the Unbroken Nation. Thank you so much, my friend. Hey, my friends, we will be right back to the show, but I have a question for you. Are you struggling with the impact of childhood trauma? Well, know that you're not alone. I'm here to let you know that I'm starting a brand new weekly coaching group that includes a year of live coaching, accountability, support, habit and goal setting, and more. I'm starting a waitlist for the group right now, and I'm only taking a handful of people. And I'll let you know that through this personalized coaching, we'll work together to help you understand how your childhood trauma has shaped your beliefs, behaviors, emotions, and will help you create a roadmap for healing and growth. Right now, you can schedule an absolutely free coaching session with me and get put on the wait list if you go to thinkunbroken.com. My friends, it's your time to turn your trauma into triumph, breakdowns into breakthroughs, and become the hero of your own story. And I'm here to support you in doing that. Just go to thinkunbroken.com to register for a free coaching call with me and to get put on the wait list for the brand new weekly coaching program.